I'm not usually someone who likes to do walkthrough videos, but here we go. This is a display that wasn't here last time I came to the Yorkshire Air Museum, but I have to say I'm really impressed with it. It's Pioneers of Aviation, Yorkshire Connections, and of course you've got some of the famous names from aviation history like Barnes-Wallis, inventor of the bouncing bomb, but more of that later. We're looking more at his airships to start with. As we enter this exhibition you can see various pictures, and one of the things to notice is the airship connection straight away. The joining plates between all of these particular pieces are shaped like the R100, which I thought was very impressive, being an airship fan myself. Moving down here, past a bust of George Cayley, the first thing that becomes apparent is there's a model airship on the ceiling, and this one goes out to my mate Trev. This is the ship she's a model of, the R80, designed by Barnes-Wallis. A very streamlined airship and quite a successful airship. However, she was broken up after only a short life, after the loss of the R38. So we'll just have a quick look at the model of the R80. Trev often says to me it reminds him of the TIE Fighter from Star Wars because of the way the gondola is, as you can see. Now there's some fantastic displays here, of course, of building airships, which we'll take you through it. This is construction of the R100, one of the ships built for the Imperial Airship Scheme in the 20s. Two ships against each other, the R100 and the R101. Both were prototypes and can only really be judged as so. The R100 was a successful ship and did a flight to Canada in 19 whatever. Here we see pieces of the R100 coming together. Now note this framework. You'll be seeing one of those in a minute. These two pieces will come together to form a spider joint, which would go in one of these areas here where the members of the ring would join the longitudinal members of the framework. This photo shows power cars under assembly. The R100 had three, each had three engines in it. One at the front, one at the rear, which were Napier line engines, and these were for propulsion, and a petrol engine which powered the onboard electrics and the starting of the engines, etc. That's one of the main members under construction. The corridor that ran from the passenger compartment that would run straight to the nose of the ship. When these ships were docked at the masts, which about 4 or 5 were built, Cardington, Karachi, Canadian one, which I'm trying to remember where it was, St Hubert's at Montreal, which of course the R100 did visit. This is one of the gas cells that would have been within the framework, and of course this is the framework. This handrail you can see here is part of the passenger cell, which was about a third of the way back from the front of the ship. Making fabric cover. And turning around, a model of the ship herself. The R100. All 720 feet long. This is in an early form, before the tail burst. As it's got a pointed tail. After the tail burst it was rounded off to a more buff and less pointed appendage. Right, moving on. Vickers Wellington, of course, built at Brooklands. Designed by Rex Pearson, but the geodetic structure was Barnes-Wallis. And remember that spider joint? Well, here's a real one from the real ship. Note the photo of the R100 behind. A real piece of the real R100. Great.